Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program. My name is Mark Farzy, and this is the Farzy Show, presented by Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. It is a Buzz Sports Entertainment production. There are often times when we watch our sports teams and we watch them do the horrible thing of play down to their opponent. We give ourselves excuses or try to at least explain it to understand that this team or our team at any given time, there's parity in the league. The NFL in particular is a tough league. You're never really going to know who wins or loses when the game starts. And any given Sunday, you're either going to win or you're going to lose. Those excuses and cliches do not apply to the 2022 Philadelphia Eagles. They went into the Meadowlands, a place where Jalen Hurts as a starter had his worst start ever, and he completely rewrote his own history in that building. In his second start in the building, he handled his business. The Eagles handled their business. The defensive line took care of their business, and everyone was dominant in this win over the New York Giants. And I continue to be dazzled by this team. Throwing, running, great defense. Oh, my goodness. Winning the one-on-one battles on the defensive and offensive line. This team is dominant. Absolutely dominant. And I talked about it a lot last week when it comes to, usually it's a bad thing when no team you can really look at their identity. Like, what's their identity? Their one singular identity. And the beautiful thing is that they do not have one. They have multiple. They are the chameleon of chameleons. They are the chameleon of NFL teams. They can just pick and choose how they're going to beat you on any given Sunday. And that's what they did in this New York Giants game by not playing down to their opponent, doing exactly what they were supposed to do. Their focus continues to be off the charts. This team, and you'll hear it in our Rothman Orthopedics locker room report, you'll hear it. This team, earlier in the week, Nick Sirianni got a question asked him about the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl. This week, Hassan Reddick, after the game, got asked a question about, do you guys have an attitude of, like, who could beat us? Like, these really cocky questions that you would have to be very arrogant as a player to believe and to buy into. And they're like, no, man, we're just staying focused. We can't buy into that stuff. We still got games left in this season. We still got seeding to secure in this season. We still got stuff we got to do, including play the Saints in a couple weeks to help our own draft stock in next year's draft. Like, to me, this is an incredible series of events that the Eagles have going on right now. Not only are they 12-1, not only are they the only team or the first team in the NFL to clinch a playoff spot, they also will likely have a top 5 pick in next year's NFL draft. Just let that sink in for a second. And the fact that the Minnesota Vikings lost is nice. The fact that the Cowboys struggled so mightily against the Houston Texans is nice. And for the MVP case of one Jalen Hurts, it's nice that Tua took an L last night as well. So a lot of things fell into place for the Eagles. But let's start it off by talking about this game. We will hear, as usual, from Nick Sirianni. We will hear from Jalen Hurts. We'll hear from BG. BG, I think, had the mantra of this Eagles team. I'm going to go ahead and spoil it for you, but we'll play it for you later. Ready? This 12-1 Philadelphia Eagles team, this dominating juggernaut of an offense for what they've been able to put on the football field recently, this dominant offense for how they've been playing recently, and everything. Here's the mantra for this team that is already in the playoffs. First team in the playoffs so far this season. Ready? Here's the mantra. And a lot of these guys have already won a Super Bowl. Here's the mantra. Ready? Brandon Graham, who has a Super Bowl ring. Brandon Graham, still hungry. The 2022 12-1 Eagles, still hungry. And still focused. How about that? You ain't rocking this ship, baby. You ain't rocking it. But let's get into this game because I'll tell you this right now. I loved Nick Sirianni throwing down the gauntlet at the 4th and 7 play where they ended up airing it out to Devontae Smith. It's the first thing I want to talk about. You didn't have to go for that. You're the better team. You could just take the points. You could just kick the field goal. You could have just buried them in their own end. That wasn't going to happen. But you could have kicked the field goal and just taken the points and said, all right, we're the better team. We're going to get another opportunity to be here. There's no reason to try to capitalize on this right now. Some people, not sure about it. Take the points. I happen to be watching the game with Seth Joyner, Derek Gunn, Mike Missinelli for the Jacob Media. They're for the Jacob Media post-game show, which is why they were still there. I was doing the pregame show, of course, and the halftime hit with Devin Caney. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, the room is not together on this one. Some people are saying just kick the field goal. Some people are saying, no, go for it. Why the hell not? It's the Giants. You got this. That was a throat punch from Nick Sirianni. No. We're going for this. And Jalen Hurts drops back, I find out later it's a pre-snap read. So he makes the change at the line of scrimmage, fires the ball down the sideline to Devontae Smith, who has his man beat in one-on-one coverage, single high safety. Safety Love comes drifting over. And if that ball by Jalen Hurts is overthrown by maybe a foot, maybe 6 inches, that's an interception, and Nick Sirianni and the Eagles team look like a bunch of idiots. Momentum swings back to the New York Giants. But instead, Love does not make a play on the ball, does not wait to make a play on the body of the receiver, even though some people might say, it's a penalty, that's a flag. It could very well be, but if he plays it right, then it won't be. And the best thing happens. Not only do the Eagles get the first down, the Eagles get the touchdown. The Eagles in this game just dominated from that point out. And they were dominant even before that. Instead of just going up 10-0 or just keeping it 7-0, they go up 14-0 on that point in the game. And that's all she wrote, baby. That is all she wrote. First 3 possessions, touchdown. It's hard to do better than that as far as Philadelphia Eagles are concerned. They were dominant, and that was the play where I knew this game was going to be a statement game. It was interesting to me this isn't the question I would ask at a press conference because there's no coach that would answer this honestly. But I have to think the Cowboys putting up 50 the other day led into the Eagles wanting to be even more dominant against a divisional opponent this time around and making sure they put up at least a near 50 burger against this team. And that's exactly what they went out there and did. They stepped on the throat of this team to absolutely dominate them and show just how far superior they were to this football team. And talking to John McMullen about it, I thought he made a great point before the game. John said, looking at this team, this is probably the greatest space you have, the greatest talent gap you have throughout the rest of the season between the Eagles and the Giants. Maybe the Saints coming up later in the season. You got the Cowboys again. You got the Giants again. You got the Bears coming up now. So we look at this right now. Going into this game, it was the biggest talent gap the Eagles could have been facing. And, man, did it show in this football game. Jalen Hurts, I thought, played a masterful game. I thought that first half was all about him just being able to air that ball out, put the ball, drop it in the hip pocket of the receivers. He had that third down play. I think it was DeQuez Watkins on the out route. No, it was Devontae Smith on the out route. Put it in his hip pocket. Got the first down that way. Was able to get a good scramble going on another third down play to convert. Nick Sirianni talked about how they were just great on third down throughout this game. And, of course, they had that really special fourth down play I just mentioned. And Miles Sanders was able to get this going from when they started really trusting him with the football in that second half. And I'm looking at this guy put up numbers that are the best in his career by far. When you talk about touchdowns, you talk about already having his first 1,000-yard season now. Just coming out of week 14. That is so incredibly special. This offensive line playing great. Lane Johnson, not expected to be serious the time that he missed in this game. But Miles Sanders has been doing a phenomenal job this year. And he certainly, you'll hear Nick Sirianni talk about this, deserves a game ball after the performance that he put forth tonight. And you think about his season so far, another 100-plus, another 120-plus performance from Miles Sanders in this game. And I want to know, and we got this again in the pregame show about how and why is Miles Sanders having such a great year. And you could certainly bring in the money factor. It's a contract season for Miles Sanders, and he's having his best season at that time. And a lot of guys have their best season at that time. And Miles Sanders has certainly been doing that so far that season for the Eagles, and it's great to watch. But in all honesty, why is he having that season? Other than motivation, what is he doing from an X's and O's standpoint that makes him have this career year right now? When Jalen Hurts was asked about it after the game, he talked about how he's just hitting the hole. He's just being aggressive. And he's seeing that goal. And if he doesn't believe in it, at the moment he sees it, he's going to hit it anyway because he's going to trust his lineman. And that has been working out to his advantage and, most importantly, the Eagles' advantage this season. I think it also helps that Jalen Hurts has become so much more of a dual threat than what he was last year. Because it's not just about, okay, I'm going to make Jalen Hurts run. I'm going to make it tuck it and run. And then we're going to see what happens with Miles Sanders maybe later. But now it's not just about Jalen Hurts tucking and running. It's about him being able to air out that football and him being a great deep thrower. Oh, what a knock on him it was last year. Everyone talking, oh, Jalen Hurts can't throw the deep ball. I tried telling people his arm is not the problem. His arm is not the problem. You want to talk about a little bit of accuracy? Yeah, let's get a little accuracy, fine. But as far as strength, this guy can air it out. You know, this year, Jalen Hurts, this is incredible. There's a couple of things I'm going to throw your way about Jalen Hurts. So Miles Sanders, great game, phenomenal, great to see him. Certainly the development of Jalen Hurts, I think, has helped the run game as well, because once you know about that pass game being a threat, you got to worry about that on all downs as well. But Jalen Hurts coming out of this game, 24 years old, 126 days, okay? Bottom line, he's the second youngest quarterback to start 12-1 or better since 1970. The only other quarterback to start better than that, 1983, when a 23-year-old Dan Marino took to the field with the Miami Dolphins. So Jalen Hurts, you're having yourself quite the time there, young fella. Quite the time. Also, Tua, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. Talk about the deep ball. Those three guys lead the NFL at over 8.1 yards per attempt this season. Tua is the only one that has the higher marking above Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes are actually tied at 8.1 yards per attempt. Not too shabby. That's a pretty good company there. So Jalen Hurts certainly is dialing it up for this team. And you see Devontae Smith, you see A.J. Brown, you see Jalen Hurts, you see Miles Sanders, you see Boston Scott. You see 5 different guys score touchdowns for you in a game. That right there is diversity. That right there is picking and choosing how they're going to beat each and every opponent. And although the team can never acknowledge it in the locker room post-game, that's what we are watching. And that is phenomenal to watch. 5 different guys scored touchdowns for this football team yesterday. 5 different guys come up with sacks yesterday. So that's why you know who else is getting a game ball? My man Brandon Graham. 3 sacks yesterday. 34-year-old Brandon Graham getting home 3 times yesterday. 8.5 sacks on the season. Brandon Graham now a sack and a half away from a double-digit sack season. The first time in his career he'd be able to accomplish such a feat. Please, dear Lord, give this man a double-digit sack season. Please, just once. 34 years old, 3 sacks yesterday, being able to beat his man in one-on-one battles, getting off the line of scrimmage quickly. You see the first sack of the game, I think it was the second sack of the game, Brandon Graham, just again, one-on-one, rushing 4, no blitz on this particular play. Jonathan Gannon, much more aggressive in that second half. Felt bad for Tyrod Taylor, was out there for like 5 passes, got sacked 3 times. Good God, man. That's just like, do I really have to go out there? I really got to face this defensive line right now? Shut up and get your reps. Tyrod Taylor goes out there. Sack! Milton Williams! Do I still got to play? I told you to stay out there. Anyway, that was a great performance by the defensive line, and it was nice to see in the second half. And I heard Seth Jordan even giving credit to Jonathan Gannon for being more aggressive in that second half and trying to snuff out any chance of a comeback or any chance of life by the New York Giants. And it's nice to see him be a little bit more aggressive. But it is nice to see this. And I know it's not everyone's favorite thing when you only see 4 guys rushing, when you only even see 5 guys rushing. But to see them in the first 2 sacks, at least of this game, I noticed, it was just 4-man rushes, beating their man one-on-one. Hassan Reddick was getting off the edge. Brandon Graham was getting off the edge. Josh Sweat was getting off the edge. Fletcher Cox was getting in. Oh, my goodness gracious. The push he was having in the middle of that defensive line was spectacular. And here's what was really crazy. And I couldn't wait to see this because I felt like I saw Fletcher Cox out there a good amount. And I felt like I saw more Ndamukong Suh in the middle of that defensive line than I had ever seen as well. And what happened in this game? Snap count wise. Snap count came out earlier this morning. Brandon Graham and Ndamukong Suh each played 29 snaps for 45% of the snaps. Brandon Graham, Suh, and Fletcher Cox all played 29 snaps in this game for 45% of their snaps. Linval Joseph, 30% of the snaps in this football game, and they were clogging up the middle of that defensive line. And I'm telling you right now, Saquon Barkley, I don't think should have been playing in this game. The Eagles have done a great job of containing Saquon Barkley, even when he's 100% healthy. They've been holding him. They've been holding him to 36 yards per game over the last two meetings. So Jonathan Gannon in his two games against Saquon Barkley has held him to under 40 yards. Under 40 yards by average over those two games. This time around, not too shabby yet again. Now, I thought they were being really cautious with him. I think Saquon only had the one carry in the first half, came out, kept touching the ball a little bit more in the second half, and even with that, they were cautious. I think they only ran him between the tackles twice in this game. But I don't think he should have been playing. And I know we talked to Jordan Renata on Friday from ESPN, Giants beat reporter, and he said, yeah, I talked to Saquon. He says neck injury is not that big a deal. Then you start hearing about MRIs before this game. You start hearing right before the game, Adam Schefter's talking about how there's a 50-50 chance that he plays in this game. And I was like, wow, I'm going to go ahead and assume he's not playing in this game. And sure enough, the report comes out. Mike Garfalo in a pregame interview with Brian Dable says, no, we'll have Saquon for this game. Okay, he's right now your franchise. That's a dice roll there, New York Giants. But nonetheless, did not pay off for them. The Eagles get the win. Great to see them continue this revenge tour kind of thing that's going on right now, which is really awesome. Darius Slay goes and plays against the Lions. Beat them. It's nice. A.J. Brown goes and plays against the Titans. Beat them. James Bradbury goes up to play against the Giants. Beat them. And apparently it was a big rallying cry for Darius Slay, who addressed the team the night before the game at the hotel and really brought up his boy, James Bradbury, and said, oh, we got to win this for him. Giants disrespected him. Giants said it's time to go. Now, you can talk about cap issues all you want. You can talk about money issues all you want. A.J. Brown even told the Titans, I'd like to play my whole career here. That ended up not happening. Best things that could have happened after that, which is he's 12-1 with his best buddy, Jalen Hurts, slinging him the football. Worked out well for him. James Bradbury gets to play next to Darius Slay. It kind of works out rather well. This team gets up for it. This team now plays the Bears. Robert Quinn's former team. Robert Quinn, IR'd. Robert Quinn not going to be playing. Robert Quinn probably not even going to be around. Darius Slay still said after this game, oh, no, we still got to beat that team for Robert Quinn, man. Quinn's our boy. We still got to win that game. Hey, whatever it takes to still motivate you, to still help you focus at 12-1, already locking up a playoff spot, now focusing on home field advantage. And like I said, the Vikings got another loss, so now the Eagles are 2 losses, or rather 2 wins, let's go with that, 2 wins better than the Vikings and the tiebreaker because they beat the Vikings. Holy pots and pans, this is incredible. This is the perfect storm. If I would have told you before the season started, Jalen Hurts is a candidate for MVP. The Eagles are 12-1, first team to lock up a playoff spot, and they're going to have a top 5 pick most likely in next year's draft. You would have said, Farzy, you're crazy. Although it might still be true that I am crazy. Not about this. Not about this. This is all coming together. So nice. Oh, what a day it would have been. What a day it would have been if the Cowboys wouldn't have been able to come back and beat the Houston Texans yesterday. Oh, what a day. What a day it would have been. I mean, the Sixers were amazing. Joel Embiid was amazing with 53 points last night. What a day. What a day. What a day. Still a pretty great day. Great day could have been greater, but still, great day. Great day. Fine day. Fine day. So I am absolutely blown away by how this team has been performing throughout. And it goes to show, again, their versatility when you see how badly they beat the brakes off the Giants in the first half. And then they come out and they are still dominant in the second half. They scored 24 points in the second half. They scored 23 points. They scored 24 points in the first half and 24 points in the second half as well. Yeah. Not too shabby right there for the Eagles yesterday. And to see the amount of guys that got sacks, to see the amount of guys that got touchdowns, to see the aggressive play calling in this game, it just felt like the Eagles could really do no wrong. They did get some help. I'll say this. I now absolutely hate turf. I despise turf. Reed Blankenship getting hurt. No bueno. Waiting to hear more words on him and what's going to happen there. Kayvon Wallace came in. We'll see how that continues to play. I'll see how he continues to play. We see Lane Johnson miss some time in this game. Aaron Sipos goes out in this game trying to run a football. Like, two of the weirdest spots. First off, it was a block punt. You're in your own end zone. That's a tough call. Credit to him for being able to run, pick that ball up and at least be able to run with it so that the Giants don't get a touchdown on it. So good for him. The other play, Jillian is the punter's name. Gillian was the punter's name for the Giants. I have never seen that before, where the punter drops the ball, panics that bad, picks it up and tries to punt it again. I've seen a punter, fumble a snap, pick it up and try to punt it. This time, I've never seen a guy just try to kick the ball off the ground again. That's a penalty. I didn't realize it was as harsh a penalty, but I'll take it. 10 yards from the spot of the foul, lost it down. That's from the spot of the foul. That's a 10, 7, 10, 10, 20. That's like a 20-yard play right there. And I'll take it. That could turn a game around. I'll now be looking forward to that play at the end of every game where the Eagles really need a prayer to come back and win. I'll now be like, hey, hopefully the punter will drop the snap and then try to just punt the ball off the ground, and then the Eagles get great field position, touchdown. Like, I'm now going to be rooting for that next time they're down 20 points. Knock on wood, they don't happen again. But I'll now be rooting for that late in games if I bet the Eagles to win outright. Maybe they'll see a dropped snap punt off the turf. That's what they need here. And like 3 pick sixes. That's what I'll be rooting for. But I've never seen that before. So that's pretty bonkers. And just on the reaction I had around everyone, I was sitting around everyone's reaction was like, what the 10-yard and lost it down and spotted the foul? Holy Lord. This team's just fun to watch. And I just like to make sure that we all bask in how much fun this team is to watch, because they can get you in any way. And I think the personalities on this team are just a lot of fun. Before I get to the locker room report, I do want to get you this little message from my friend Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right there on Jewelers Row, the other corner of 8th and Walnut. Go to Steven Singer Jewelers. That's Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, the perfect price each and every day. Online at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Steven gives you that perfect price each and every day. So there's no coupons, no promo codes, no special sales. The sale is every day. While other jewelers are marking things way up, Steven keeps them at that perfect price each and every day. Online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Always fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. I'm going to start it off with this. I'm not going to start it off with the head coach like I normally do. I'm not going to start it off with Jalen Hurts. I'm going to start it off right now with Brandon Graham, who sent the message after his 3-sack game, talking about how this defensive line is played and this team coming up with 5 sacks in this game. Here's his message about the defensive line.
I just feel like we hungry. I mean, if anything, man, them boys motivated me even more today to make sure that, I make my rushes count. Because, Hassan was just beating up on 73 today, and you was seeing him. He was on the sideline mad because he was one step away every time. And, it's just cool that everybody, once we do what we supposed to do, and that's stop the run, everybody just knowing our strength is as pass rushers and how hungry we all are to try to get out there and make them count. I'm just thankful for the group because we all motivating each other.
Keep on eating. You got to keep on eating. We hungry. 48 points the Eagles put up as an offense. Defense has been playing great as well. 7 sacks in the game. 12-1, first team to close playoff, still hungry. I think that sums up the Eagles rather well. I want to jump now to this question. Now, again, I referenced it earlier in the show, but earlier in the week, just for reference, just for perspective, Nick Sirianni got asked a question about the Super Bowl. Hassan Reddick just got this question posed to him after the game, and I don't think he could have answered it better.
The way you're playing now, are you sitting there in your mind going, is there anybody good enough to beat us?
Oh man, you can never think like that or ask that question. The NFL is a week by week thing, man. You could be 12-1 and then next week you lose a game and now you're 12-2 or whatever happens. You see it all the way throughout the league. It's been a lot of teams that have been having hot streaks and they're kind of falling down. Football in December, in January is really, really hard, and that's where you got to be focused and locked in the most and playing your best football.
Do you ever think for a second that any team could actually beat you? Like, what's it like to be invincible? Yeah, your question. Well, if Hassan Reddick answered the question, all right. If Hassan Reddick answers that question with no, not really. Oh man. Bullets and board material. Eagles are too cocky. They're overconfident. This team is going down in flames. But no. 12-1, dominant, especially over the last 3 weeks. Hassan Reddick, another double-digit sack season, which is added to his list. If he answers that question the way I think a lot of fans are thinking, the way I'm thinking about this team, that only brings on negative attention to the Eagles. It's funny because there's a fine line between cocky and arrogant and then just taking it for granted and confident. That's the fine line between those three things and then just confident. There's a fine line between those things. You can be confident, but there's got to be a little bit of humility attached to it as well. A little taste of humility with it, a little taste of humble pie that the Eagles keep on force-feeding themselves because they are such a damn good football team. If he answered that question any differently, oh, man, is that a headline story today? Oh, no one can beat us. No, the best way to say that is pretty much what Brandon Graham said. First off, the answer is perfect. And then what Brandon Graham said, no, we're still hungry. 7 sacks in this game. Yeah. Still hungry. Keep it coming each and every day. All right, now let's hear from the head coach, Nick Sirianni, about this game. And really, what was really impressive in this game in particular was the Eagles' drives in this game. They were phenomenal, especially in the early goings of the game were they great, where they were able to sustain long drives, get first downs, convert on third downs each and every time pretty much to keep those long drives going. You saw how this really shook out in the early goings. Eagles 14-play drive, 84 yards, touchdown, eating up 8 minutes and 5 seconds. Next possession, 12 plays, 91 yards, touchdown, 14-0. That was the drive I highlighted earlier where the Eagles said, you know what? We're going to come up with another touchdown here and just tell everybody else to deal with it. And, yeah, that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. When they went for it on the 4th and 7 from the Giants' 41-yard line, and they connected on the 41-yard touchdown pass to Devontae Smith for the touchdown. Unbelievable. 14-0, just like that. Next possession, it was after the weird punt. One play. One play, 33 yards, touchdown pass. You're up 23-0 or 21-0. They just sheer dominance in that game. So Nick Sirianni was talking about those long sustained drives and how they were able to keep those going.
We were really good on third down in some third down areas. We put it in our players' hands to go for it on fourth down in one of those areas, and Devontae and Jalen went out and made a big time play. So it was being able to convert on in third down scenarios and be able to keep the sticks moving. And again, I felt like Jalen was just in complete control. There's a play that he hits Miles on the sideline on a check down where he didn't force anything. The defense dictated where the ball went. He took it to Miles, and we got 8 yards off of that, which I thought was an awesome play. And he was just in complete control there. So it was the conversions on third down, and it was also the just really good quarterback play by Jalen.
Nick Sirianni on the sustained drives they've been able to pile up and continue to pile up over the course of these last 3 games. And there's no really better way to start the show that you're going to have more dominance in a game than you can't get us off the football field. That's pretty impressive. We all know that Jalen Hurts has been playing himself into the MVP conversation, and he has played himself into, I still believe, the MVP. Patrick Mahomes, pretty impressive yesterday. He's a pretty good quarterback as well. But I believe it is down now. It is a 2-horse race between Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. I give the edge to Jalen Hurts because it looks like the Eagles are going to be the better football team. It looks like the Eagles are going to have the best record in the NFL. They're going to be the first team to clinch, and he is the key cog in the wheel when it comes to how dominant this football team can be. So you could make the argument to take Patrick Mahomes off the Chiefs and whatever. I'm not making the argument for Patrick Mahomes. I'm making the argument for Jalen Hurts. So there. Not talking about Patrick Mahomes. But Jalen Hurts now, you look at his ratings over the season here. He has only had 4 games, 5 games where he's had a sub 500 passer rating. Only 5 games this season. That's pretty impressive. And now he has yet another 100-plus passer rating. He had a modest 109.2 passer rating in this game. Modest. 2 touchdowns. Like, it's funny, like, the way this game played out, with the touchdown to Devontae Smith, with the touchdown to A.J. Brown, It was like, oh, he can do pretty much whatever he wants. He's got this. He only had 217-yard passing. Miles Sanders had 144 yards on the ground. Again, you can't say it enough. This team is a chameleon. They'll pick and choose however they want to beat you. Whatever your weak point is, we're going to go ahead and do that because we're going to exploit that weakness. So that's pretty good. Another 109 passer rating, Nick Sirianni on his quarterback and how well he's been playing.
Yeah, really high level. Really high level. You guys have seen it. He's playing really good, and we're in the team. I mean, the last 3 games we've scored. Has it been 40, 44? And I don't know if one of them wasn't 40, but last week was 35. But that's good quarterback play. It's good offensive line play. It's good tight end play. That's good receiver play. It's good running back play. It's good quarterback play. And he touches the ball every time, so it's big time play by him. Our offensive line's just done a great job. I think the tight ends have really stepped up. It was really nice to see those guys. They blocked their butts off today, and then they also made plays when it came to them in the passing game. And so that was really good to see. Everybody's stepping up. Quez has stepped up, and you know you got an injury to Dallas Goedert. It takes everybody, and they've accomplished that.
Do you feel like it coming? Keep it coming. Keep pouring it on. I love that Nick Sirianni gets asked a question about Jalen Hurts, acknowledges that yes, he's playing at a very high level, but everybody else is chipping in as well. How about Grant Calcaterra getting things done for this team as well? Coming up with a couple of catches in that first half. You're going to get Dallas Goedert back most likely for next week, so that'll be great. That'll be a nice little thing. Get Dallas Goedert back in this offense, get him involved, get things going there again. That'd be great. But he also talks about well the offensive line has played as well. Miles Sanders, but everybody's been playing great. Everybody has been playing great. Last thing from Nick Sirianni that I have a fun little anecdote that I think some of you guys have heard before, but I'll get to it. This is Miles Sanders. I thought Nick Sirianni gave game balls right at the end of the game. It turns out he does, but not always. So Sal Paolantonio, of course, of ESPN, asked him the question about Miles Sanders getting the game ball after his 144-yard performance, and here is what Nick Sirianni had to say about it.
Yeah, there's only a couple times I've given game balls after a game. What do you have? 100? What do you have? 144? 144. Yeah, he'll get a game ball. All right, so Miles, you'll get a game ball. He knows he'll already get one of those, and so he'll get one from that, and it's good. I mean, first time he's went over 1,000. He's been great all year. He's ran the ball hard. He's protected his butt off. He's protected the football, and he's just playing really good football right now.
Just the fact that he's healthier this year has been the difference.
Yeah.
Do you see a different maturity at this point?
I think I see his play improving too. You know, we've always been able to count on Miles, and we know he missed some time last year with some injuries with the ankle. But it's both and, right? It's that he's been out there every single game, and he's improving as a player, and that's our goal as a team. Is how do we get better every single day as a team? How do we get better every single day as an individual? And Miles is a great example of that because he's improved his game, not only running the football, but all those other things that I just talked about.
We've been through our share of suffering. But in that, I feel like even in a season, not over like a 5-year span or not over a 10-year span, even just in a season with what we have been watching this year. The Commanders game is their only loss so far in the schedule. We all know that already, right? But I feel like it is really important to embrace the idea that this team has just spoiled us this year. And I just want them to keep on spoiling. Like you go visit your grandparents or something like that when you're a kid, and they spoil the hell out of you. Oh man, the Eagles are giving us the Werther's originals, right? That's what they're just giving us. Oh, you want cake for breakfast? Cake for breakfast. That's what we're having. It is amazing, and Miles Sanders has certainly been a big part of that. Shift gears now to your quarterback. The deep ball conversation has become a huge sticking point for Jalen Hurts. It was a big conversation piece going into the offseason. He can't throw the deep ball. If you've watched this show, if you've listened to this show, then you know I have been an advocate for him on the deep ball. Do I think he needed to work on a little bit more accuracy? Sure. But do I also think that his arm strength was fine and not a problem? Yes. Absolutely not a problem. So Miles Sanders has been great running the ball. He's been doing phenomenal hitting the holes, while Jalen Hurts has been airing out the football. Again, 8.1 yards per attempt, tied for the second best in the NFL, only behind Tua. Here is Jalen Hurts yesterday when he was asked about the deep ball and how it's been working out for him this year.
There was a point in time where people said I couldn't throw the deep ball, let alone throw it 5 yards. So I've always go out there and play my game for real. You know, we put a lot of work in. Smitty, AJ, Quez, all of us. We put the work in the off season, and we just want to come out here and, come out here and play, do what we prepared ourselves to do.
Sorry, one of those deep balls, obviously, the 4th and 7 to Devontae. Just kind of like, A, going for it on that situation, and B, what you saw with Devontae deep.
Yeah, I think that was a pivotal moment in the game, a big momentum swing for us, and to be out there and get to a big time play like that. Devontae makes it. I didn't see it. I was on the ground, to be honest. I had to watch the film to see, but it was a big moment in the game. I'm happy it went our way. I know the safety was rushing over there. He's headed that way really fast with some urgency, but we made the play.
Yeah, I think Julian Love, I think was the safety's name, and he was trying to come over and make that play. Did not make that play because it was a perfectly thrown ball. So you can look at it two ways. You can look at it if you're a Jalen Hurts hater, all right? You look at it as, can't make that throw. It's a risky throw. Shouldn't make that throw. It should have been a pick. And you know what? You might be right, but here's the other thing. We'll never know if it was going to be a pick. You know why? Because it was a perfectly thrown ball right into the hands of Devontae Smith. And yes, 10 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, you make a play on that as a defensive back or a safety coming over the top as over-the-top help, and you pop Devontae Smith, and odds are he probably doesn't hold on to that ball. But, man, Love came in and showed way too much love on that particular play. Like, I'm not going to hurt this guy. I'm also not going to go get that football because I don't want to be greedy and take that football that's right there if I just make a play on the ball. Devontae Smith, it was a perfectly thrown ball. And he came down with it for the touchdown on a 4th and 7, where it was questionable whether or not he should have gone for it. Nick Sirianni said, "This ends now." And that's pretty much what happened, which is pretty awesome. Pretty much loved it. So this is another question. Like these, sometimes questions like the one to Hassan Reddick can be labeled as like softball questions because you're telling the guy how great great he is or the team is. You're telling them you're so great. Can you still be great? Whatever. I actually like the way Jalen Hurts. I like the question. I believe it's Chris Martin, buddy of mine, that asked this question, and it's about your best football being ahead of you. And what is Jalen Hurts like? A lot of people can say, "Well, what's he going to say?" No, I think like 3 weeks ago we played our best football, and now we're just kind of scratching for scratching and clawing for the most we can, But no, Jalen Hurts answers it like this:
the last 3 weeks, an indication that you all are starting or coming close to playing your best football. I know you got some time to go, but
what do you think? What do you think?
I'm asking you, man.
I said I don't. It doesn't really matter to me. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter to me because I know the preparation that we put in. I know how we prepare. I know the time that we invest into it. I know what we sacrifice to come out here and play on Sundays. But not only that, the preparation throughout the weeks. Coming home late, getting up early, doing all those things. And if you want something bad enough, you have to be able to sacrifice some things for it and, work for it. So, I don't think when you put the type of work in that we put in and when you invest what you invest into it, you go out there and you just want to execute at a high level. You want to kind of collect a check. You want to let all the work show. And I think that's just what we're doing as a football team. It all comes down to the process. Nothing else. No outcome of anything else. Like, it's about the process. What are you doing throughout the week to prepare yourself for the game? So we just need to stay true to that. I said that this week in the presser this week in Philly. Stay true to the process and the hustle and what's important, and everything else will always handle itself.
Yeah, dare I say it, trust the process? When it comes to this Eagles team, how do you not trust it? We could go back and talk about the offseason and the work Jalen Hurts and the proof that's in the pudding about the hard work that he put in and how much better of a quarterback he is this year than last year. We talked about that enough. It's great. But everything that Nick Sirianni is doing with this football team, everything that Howie Roseman has done with this football team has worked out. Jonathan Gannon deserves a lot of credit as well. We talk often about how he's not aggressive enough. Over the last 3 games, that's not the story. The story has been how his scheme or philosophy has worked out beautifully to the tune of being, 12-1, to the tune of still having a top 10, top 5 offense or defense in the NFL, getting after quarterbacks, forcing turnovers, making plays in crunch time. Commanders game, they had a tough time getting off the field. Earlier in the season, they had a tough time defending against the run. Howie Roseman said, I believe I can help here. And Ndamukong Suh, Linval Joseph, and Jordan Davis will be coming off IR as well. And you just got Avonte Maddox back as your nickel corner once again, who is a great nickel corner. This team is a complete team. They're missing their starting safety now. They're missing their backup safety for, I don't know, maybe he'll miss this coming week. Who knows? But when it comes to this game and it comes to this team playing the way they've been playing all season long, everyone across the board deserves credit when you're 12-1. I know we can talk about the special teams, how they are only the latest team to come around, or version of this team, a unit on this team to come around, and then they struggle in this game. You have the block punt. That's no bueno. You don't have as great a return day as you did in the previous week, even though you're setting career highs left to right, so it's hard to match that energy. They have definitely been the most struggling unit on this team, special teams. But when you're 12-1, you're doing something right at the top. And that is trickling down to the way this team is performing on the football field. And the team on the football field is making everybody else look brilliant too. I mean, the fact that, again, you got 45% of the snaps by Ndamukong Suh, 29 snaps he's out there for. When you're talking about what, going into this game, his high was 17 coming back. So maybe Ndamukong Suh's back into game shape. It's only going to help the birds, of course. It's only going to help the birds. So, yeah, Jalen Hurts wants to continue to believe that the best version of this team is still in front of them. The best brand of football is still in front of them. So they want to go out, and I guess that means they want to beat the Bears 60-12. Okay, I'll be here for it. We always talk about motivation. I always like to harken back to the Last Dance with Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan's talking about, I forget who it was from the Wizards that dropped like 30 points or whatever it was on the Bulls and Michael Jordan. And after the game, the guy said, and they win, and he says to Michael Jordan after the game, hey, good game. And Jordan's like, that guy just told me good game? After he just dropped 30 on me and we lost? Oh, hell no. And then like Jordan scored like 1,000 points in the next game and the Bulls killed him. You know, there's like, that's your motivation? Somebody's like sportsmanship? I took that personally. I rattled it off for you before, but Darius Slay, we have some other people here. Darius Slay, they beat the Detroit Lions. A.J. Brown, they beat the Tennessee Titans. James Bradbury was going up against the New York Giants, who, by the way, are missing a starting corner. So it'd be nice for them to have James Bradbury still. They opted that wasn't the best case. James Bradbury was a rallying cry for Darius Slay. Here's Darius Slay on how he likes to win for his team in those revenge games. Here's our boy, my favorite man to listen to after the game, Darius Slay.
Yeah, JB, he's a guy in the room with me, got a lot of respect for this team. And this organization released him, and I felt like he was one of the best for sure last year. He was top 10. You don't have top 10 corners just don't fall off the trees. And to let him go, and, I took that personal for myself because they just don't respect the man like that. And I just felt like, yeah, we got to go with these boys for my boy JB.
You did it?
Yeah, we had to. I had it on my mind.
I thought it was an amicable split. Apparently not. Either way, if you find motivation in that, if you can, as a leader, like Darius Slay is a captain of the defense, right? He says, that guy over there was done dirty by that team we're going to play right there. That guy was done wrong. He was done dirty by those guys right over there. Let's go kick their asses. They trot out into the football field. 21-0 before you could blink. Did it have something to do with it? Probably. Because like I said, teams that have been having great seasons at certain points along the way lose focus. And that's why I think bulletin board material is so potent. Because teams can look at that and use that as a reason to say, no, this week is special. And I know you're thinking, oh, these are professional athletes that get paid a lot of money to think every game, every snap, every play is special. And that's true, but it's also the norm. That never changes. So that's almost something you can get used to. But the minute something else comes in to motivate you, that's where you pull focus even more. And you want to destroy the opponent. Now, it's not just simple. A lot of other things have to go right as well. Like you have to have some talent. And the Eagles are a dangerous combination. Like I always say about Jalen Hurts, the reason I believed in him going into this year was because I never bet against a guy that has talent and a great work ethic. And, man, he has both of those things. The Eagles seem to have a great mindset, a great work ethic, and a hell of a lot of talent. So I'm going to go ahead and not bet against a team like that. And they have gone out every single week, and they have found that little extra added piece of motivation to go out there and make sure they take care of business against their opponent. This week, I guess it was the James Bradberry Revenge Tour. A.J. Brown, they did it. Darius Slay, they did it. And now they're going to try to do it for a guy who's on IR. And Robert Quinn going up against the Chicago Bears. Whatever you need, put the quarter in the old revenge machine and make it happen. James Bradberry on his man Darius Slay sticking up for him.
I think that connection, it reigns throughout the whole locker room. We have a close, tight group here. Everyone gets along with everyone for the most part. And I kind of figured he was going to bring me up in the speech toward the end because that's my guy, and I appreciate him.
First off, everyone here gets along for the most part. Follow-up question, James Bradberry. Let's focus on a negative. Who hates each other? Who doesn't like who? Give me the juice. Whatever you need for that extra added motivation, whatever you need for that little bit of edge, I'm fine with it. And it seems like James Bradberry, I don't know if I sensed from him that he really felt like he was done dirty. And especially right now that you're on a team that's 12-1. I don't really know. And things aren't exactly going the best direction now. So now it's been 6 weeks since the Giants last won a football game. Okay. That's no bueno. So that's where we're at right now. And I think James Bradberry can look around and be like, well, I guess things worked out for me, didn't they? And also, when I was listening to him in the post-game, team guy, he talked about how he got beat on a couple double moves in this game against his former team, and he turned around thinking he was about to get burnt and exposed with a deep ball. And he did not, because his defensive line came up huge in this game. Turned around, quarterback was already down. Great play by the defensive line. The D-line, the pass rush, helping those in pass defense every step of the way. It's a perfect team. Well, near perfect. We do have some knowledge of the blemish that is the Commanders. But anyway, it has been one hell of a ride to watch this football team. Let me tell you, and that's our locker room report brought to you by Rothman Orthopedics. Let me tell you right now about our friends over at Manscaped and Manscaped.com. Ladies and gentlemen, Manscaped. Now offering 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code Farzy at Manscaped.com, where you can get the Platinum Package 4.0. It includes their 4.0 lawnmower, ear and nose hair trimmer, weed whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. And they all come with skin-safe technology that helps reduce the risk of nicks, so you can manscape with confidence and comfort. So go to Manscaped.com right now. Use promo code Farzy for 20% off and free shipping at Manscaped.com. It's just that great. Manscaped.com. Let me tell you about the great people at Freestone Farm CBD, FreestoneFarmCBD.com. If you like CBD, you use CBD. You want to try a different CBD. Your CBD right now really isn't cutting it. Freestone Farm CBD is what you got to try. Plus, we give you 20% off at Freestone Farm CBD. FreestoneFarmCBD.com. 20% off when you use promo code Farzy. You'll enjoy the tropical tasting Bayox that clocks into the chart-topping 24.1%, and Super CBD, which is half Hindu, Kush, and 21%. Generics to these guys are off the charts. You'll absolutely love them. And also, after harvest, they carefully preserve all their plant compounds with a perfect 3-month cure. So there's nothing synthetic from farm to jar. FreestoneFarmCBD.com. Use promo code Farzy for 20% off. How about PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsStation.com. Mojo. Let's check out the Mojo app right now. Download it to your phone. On iOS, available right now in New Jersey. Must be present to trade in New Jersey. But Mojo attaches share prices, stock value to each player. Over 300 skilled players in the NFL, from running backs to wide receivers, from tight ends to quarterbacks. Think someone's about to break out? Think you're going to buy low on a rookie status and then sell high? That's how you make some money for yourself on the Mojo app. Available in New Jersey. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, now it's time for the chat check. See how you beautiful people are doing on this fine Victory Monday morning. Ooh, lots of chat. People just piping hot. in the chat check. Mally, Kevin, T-Bro. T-Bro just says, victory! Happy playoff clinching Monday, everybody. Same to you, Kevin. Hello. Everyone's saying hello to each other. Mo Horton. What's up, Mo Horton? Go Birds. Clay. What's going on, Clay? Sean Gillespie. What's going on, Clay? 12-1 and still haven't watched a game yet. Not by choice, but because of work, but still not missing the juju. Clay, you are taking one for the team. Even if it's just for work, that's fine. You're taking one for the team, Clay. Thank you. What else we got? Sean Gillespie. Don't ever watch live games ever again, Clay. Clay, as long as I still continues to bear fruit like it has, I'll continue to watch the highlights on YouTube. That guy. The extended highlights are always great. I watch it before every show just to put myself back in that mindset. You know what's really amazing? Because I'm always so focused on the next play, like what's he going to call here? What's Jalen Hurts going to do? What do you do here? You can call timeout, whatever. Just like little intricacies and all that stuff. I lose a lot in the moment. And then rewatching the extended highlights on YouTube, I'm always like, oh, yeah, that was a really great play by. Oh, man, I forgot about that thing. Oh, wow, that's really great. Like something like that. Anyway, I recommend it for everybody just to experience it again. Better than a couple shots of espresso. BG had 3 sacks at 34. Robert Quinn is 32 and stinks on ice. Dan Schwartz. What's up, Danny? How you doing, man? I still owe you that picture. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. Need a W versus the Bears. Crazy, we're 12-1 and still need to win so much. It is bonkers. But again, the Vikings losing helps our case, of course. Because now your 2 wins better. And again, your 2 wins better and the tiebreaker better. So that's good. Jalen Hurts is just amazing. He took the Super Bowl or took the Super Soldier formula and the heart-shaped herb from Wakanda. Sean, that's true. I haven't seen the new Black Panther yet. I do want to see. I got into the Marvel movies. I have COVID to thank for that. Like when I had COVID the first time, I just watched all the Marvel movies, and now I'm like a Marvel guy. I watched all the Marvel universe. I told you guys before, it was originally out of order, like the first 5, and then I went back and I watched the other ones in proper order, skipping over the ones I'd already seen. It was great. It's a great time. Great time. It was like a thrill ride. It's like a roller coaster each time. Dan, he's crazy good, says Dan to Sean about Jalen Hurts. He is crazy good. Mally, hello again. Clay, hello again. Dan, hello again. Dan, hello again. Clay, hello. Sean. April, hello. John Cheeseborough. This was a weird week for those of us to pick the and pick'em leagues. Ooh, never done a pick'em league. John, happy Victory Monday to you. John Cheeseborough, Werther's Original, old people candy. You know, I always really found those Werther's Original commercials hilarious because the old man in the sweater, that grandfather sitting by the fire, was so not my grandfather. He was so not a 100-year-old Lithuanian man from upstate Pennsylvania, coal mining country. My grandfather was so not that guy. I'd be like, who is that just like a nice old guy on the block that people know? Because he's giving it to his grandson. That is his grandfather. I can't identify with this commercial. My grandfather was like, sit down and eat your kielbasa. Anyway. Make great throw. Hurts did make great throws. Yeah, John, the throw on 4th down to Devontae was incredible. The Seagulls team can beat teams into submission and really do whatever they want offensively. Plus all of this being done without Goddard. Yeah. We had bots, April. I didn't see the bots. Good job, PJ, eliminating the bots. Dumb question. The 2022 who wins? The 2022 Birds versus the 2017 Birds. Who wins? Clay, good question. Oh, wow. That's really tough. Their running back depth was deeper in 2017. Their quarterback play was better in 2022, I want to say. But if you're talking about like the Carson Wentz 2017 Eagles, or excuse me, 2017 Eagles, or the Nick Foles regular season 2017 Eagles, why can't I say that? Or the team that walked off the field at the Super Bowl, I think the Eagles it's weird to say. This Eagles team, I think, is more talented, has more talent. But that Eagles team with Nick Foles, if they were beating Tom Brady and the Patriots the way they beat Tom Brady and the Patriots, they weren't losing to anybody. So I think if on paper, this receiving core is far better than that one. I'll have to think about that before I give you an official answer. Because I know it's not a real answer if I tell you that I think this Eagles team this year is more talented, but I think that Eagles team in 2017 would win in the head-to-head matchup. It's like, well, how can you say that? It's like, well, that 2017 team wasn't losing. If they beat Tom Brady like that, they're not losing to anybody. It's tough, bruh. It's tough. Jeff, good morning. Catch any of Rob Gronkowski on the Fox NFL pregame show? He was most entertaining of all the guys on the show. He could become the Charles Barkley analyst at the end. I did not catch him, but okay, I'll check that out. I like Gronk. I think everyone likes Gronk. Live chat. You got 3 comments. That's not 3 bots. April. That's no bueno. But Random Anton. What's up, Random Anton? Revenge game after Robert Quinn. That's right. Charles Gardner-Johnson. He's on IR too. We like motivation so much. We'll just use players that aren't even being played anymore. All right. Coal mining country, my area. Clay, you're up there and you're in Hazleton. I'll tell you right now, I'm not kidding when I say this. One of the best Italian meals I ever had in my life was in Hazleton. I don't remember the restaurant. It was like some hole in the. It was like somebody's living room. I ate gnocchi in, and the gnocchi was out of this world amazing. But my grandfather was from Shenandoah, PA, or Shenandoah, PA. Shenandoah is how I always grew up saying it with my family. John Cheeseborough says 2022 beats 2017 because the defense is miles ahead of 2017. Probably true. SJC Mark, morning. Good morning, SJC. Nice to have you. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are great, as per usual. Let's get to the Morning Rush brought to by Sky Motorcars, skymotorcars.com. I got one thing for you and one thing only. Morning Rush, 131-113 win for the 76ers last night. Joel Embiid, last night, 28 points in the first half, 53. Only he, Allen Iverson, and Wilt Chamberlain have multiple 50-point games in the season for the Sixers. Not too shabby. Right there for Joel Embiid, doing some great things. In the third quarter, James Harden, Joel Embiid either scored or assisted on all 30 of the Sixers' 35 points in that third quarter. Pretty impressive, and they outscored the Charlotte Hornets in that quarter, 35-33. So Embiid and Harden won, basically. Those two only got outscored, I guess, by 3 points. But yeah, one hell of a victory by the Sixers last night. They're at 14-12. On the season, so that's great to see. Get the overtime win as well on Friday against the Lakers. Ugly until it wasn't. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is the Farzy Show presented by my good friend Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. James Hyden produced the program. Did a wonderful job. Jim Hyden produced the program. Did a wonderful job. Coming up, I'll be on Chris DeGaulle at 7:05 today, and then I will be on Fox 29 breaking it all down with Football. The latest segment in football. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow. See ya.